Subscriptions have woven themselves into the fabric of our daily lives, from streaming our favorite shows to managing software and even ordering meals. What began as a way to access products and services more conveniently has now become a major driver of consumer spending. Today, the subscription economy is valued at nearly $500 billion globally, and it's growing rapidly. This shift matters because it changes not just how we pay, but how we interact with companies, budget our finances, and perceive ownership. Understanding the rise of subscriptions helps us navigate the benefits and challenges they bring to our modern economy. Subscriptions were initially marketed as a revolution in access, promising to make everything from movies and music to software and news more affordable and available to everyone. Instead of paying hefty upfront costs, consumers could now enjoy a vast library of content or advanced tools for a manageable monthly fee. This shift meant that small businesses and individuals could access resources that were once reserved for large corporations or those with deep pockets. The idea was simple: spread the cost over time, lower the barrier to entry, and let more people participate. In many ways, this model delivered on its promise, opening doors that were previously closed to many. The subscription model began as a way to make valuable products and services more accessible, allowing people to enjoy everything from movies to software without hefty upfront costs. Over time, however, what started as a convenience has quietly morphed into a source of financial strain for many. As subscriptions multiplied and automatic renewals became the norm, consumers found themselves juggling more recurring payments than ever, often losing track of what they were actually paying for. This shift has turned a tool for empowerment into a potential financial trap, where the promise of easy access sometimes leads to overlooked expenses and mounting costs. The challenge now is to recognize when subscriptions genuinely add value and when they simply drain our wallets. When it comes to subscriptions, the numbers tell a revealing story. On average, Americans spend around $118 each month on various subscription services, which adds up to over $1,400 a year and an astonishing $85,000 over a lifetime. But what's truly surprising is how much people underestimate these costs. Studies show that 74% of consumers think they spend far less than they actually do, often missing the mark by more than $100 each month. This gap between perception and reality highlights just how easy it is for recurring charges to slip under the radar, quietly impacting personal finances over time. Gen Z and millennials are embracing subscription services more than any previous generation, often spending a significant portion of their monthly budgets on recurring payments. This shift reflects changing habits, with younger consumers valuing access and convenience over outright ownership. However, the growing reliance on subscriptions can have unintended consequences. Analysts note that these recurring expenses may make traditional financial milestones, such as homeownership, more challenging to achieve. As subscription spending climbs, it can quietly erode savings, leaving less room for major investments and long-term financial planning. For businesses, enterprise software subscriptions have transformed how essential tools are accessed and paid for. Instead of hefty upfront costs, companies now manage recurring monthly or annual payments. However, this shift brings its own set of challenges. Many organizations face annual price hikes from vendors, often ranging from 10 to 20%, with few alternatives but to accept the increases. Over time, these rising costs can strain budgets and make it difficult for businesses to forecast expenses, especially when switching providers is complex or disruptive to operations. Despite the frustrations and pitfalls associated with subscriptions, their popularity continues to soar. For businesses, subscription models offer predictable revenue streams and encourage ongoing customer engagement, which is vital for growth and stability. Consumers, on the other hand, are drawn to the convenience and flexibility of accessing a wide range of services without hefty upfront costs. The model also democratizes access, allowing smaller companies and individuals to use tools and content previously reserved for large enterprises. Ultimately, the promise of continuous value and easier entry keeps both sides coming back, even as they navigate the challenges of managing recurring payments and avoiding subscription fatigue. Recent surveys reveal a surprising trend. Most consumers significantly underestimate how much they spend on subscriptions each month. While people might guess their monthly total is around $86, the actual average is closer to $219. This gap is largely due to invisible charges, recurring payments for services that quietly renew in the background, often without the consumer's active awareness. In fact, 42% of consumers are still paying for subscriptions they've completely forgotten about. These invisible costs highlight how easy it is for recurring charges to slip under the radar, making it challenging for many to keep track of their true spending. One of the biggest challenges with the subscription economy is the issue of forgotten subscriptions. Automatic renewals, while convenient, often lead to consumers paying for services they no longer use or even remember signing up for. Studies show that 42% of people continue to be charged for subscriptions they've completely forgotten about, creating a hidden drain on their finances. These unnoticed charges can add up over time, turning what was once a small monthly fee into a significant annual expense. This phenomenon highlights the importance of regularly reviewing financial statements to catch and cancel unused subscriptions before they become a costly oversight. Over the past decade, many people switched from traditional cable TV to streaming services, attracted by the promise of lower costs and greater flexibility. Initially, streaming platforms offered affordable access to vast libraries of content, making it easy to cut the cord. However, as more services entered the market, consumers began subscribing to multiple platforms to keep up with their favorite shows and movies. This shift has led to a new kind of bundle, where the combined cost of streaming subscriptions can rival or even surpass old cable bills. As a result, monthly spending on streaming has climbed steadily, reflecting a full-circle evolution in how we pay for entertainment. In the early days of streaming, many people cut the cord on traditional cable, hoping to escape high prices and endless channels they never watched. The promise was simple: pay less and only for what you actually use. But over time, as more streaming services emerged, viewers found themselves juggling multiple subscriptions just to access their favorite shows and movies. The result? Monthly costs that often rival or even exceed those old cable bills. What started as a move toward simplicity and savings has, for many, come full circle, delivering convenience, but at a price that feels all too familiar. It's a common belief that all the frustrations people experience with subscriptions, like hidden fees or difficult cancellations, are simply baked into the model itself. But in reality, many of these issues stem from how individual companies choose to implement their subscription services, not from the concept of subscriptions as a whole. Some businesses use confusing pricing or make it hard to leave, while others focus on transparency and ongoing value. The key distinction lies in whether a company prioritizes customer trust and satisfaction, or relies on tactics that lock people in. So, it's important to recognize that the subscription model can be both empowering and problematic, depending on the practices behind it. Subscriptions have played a key role in democratizing access to products and services that were once out of reach for many. Instead of requiring large upfront payments, subscriptions allow both individuals and businesses to pay smaller, manageable amounts over time. This shift has opened the door for startups to use advanced software and for consumers to enjoy a wide range of entertainment, education, and productivity tools. By spreading costs and reducing commitment, subscriptions make it easier for more people to benefit from innovations that were previously reserved for those with bigger budgets. As a result, the subscription model has helped level the playing field, fostering greater inclusion and opportunity. The subscription economy has seen remarkable growth in recent years, transforming how consumers and businesses access products and services. In 2024, the global subscription market was valued at around $492 billion, with forecasts suggesting it could surpass $1.5 trillion by 2033. This rapid expansion is fueled by the model's ability to lower upfront costs and provide ongoing value, making it attractive to both individuals and companies. Subscriptions offer flexibility and democratized access, allowing even small startups to use sophisticated tools that were once out of reach. As a result, the subscription model continues to thrive, reshaping spending habits and business strategies worldwide. Before the rise of subscription models, enterprise software was often sold through traditional licensing, which required hefty upfront payments. Companies faced significant financial barriers, with costs for a single license sometimes reaching thousands of dollars. not to mention additional expenses for implementation and maintenance. This meant that only large organizations could afford advanced tools, leaving startups and smaller businesses at a disadvantage. The risk was high. If the software didn't meet expectations, the investment was already sunk, and switching to another solution was costly and complicated. This approach limited access and flexibility, making innovation and growth harder for many businesses. Subscriptions have fundamentally reshaped the way businesses access software. Instead of facing hefty upfront costs for licenses, companies now pay manageable monthly fees, spreading expenses over time. This shift has made advanced tools, once reserved for large enterprises, available to startups and small businesses. By lowering the barrier to entry, subscriptions allow organizations of all sizes to benefit from powerful analytics, collaboration, and automation tools. The model also encourages continuous improvement, as software providers must deliver ongoing value to retain their subscribers. When it comes to choosing subscriptions, most people aren't just looking for convenience, they're focused on getting real value for their money. In fact, surveys show that 62% of subscribers cite value as their primary motivation, rather than simply making life easier. This means that consumers are carefully weighing the monthly cost against what they actually receive. Whether it's access to a vast library of content, essential software tools, or ongoing updates and support. Subscriptions that consistently deliver more than their price tag tend to win loyalty, while those that fall short quickly lose favor. Ultimately, it's this ongoing calculation of value that drives the growth and sustainability of the subscription economy. Subscriptions have fundamentally changed how both businesses and consumers access products and services. Instead of requiring large upfront payments, subscriptions spread costs over time, making it easier to try new offerings without a significant financial commitment. This model shifts much of the risk from the buyer to the seller, since users can cancel if the service doesn't meet their needs. For businesses, this means they can experiment with advanced tools or software without locking themselves into expensive long-term contracts. For consumers, it provides the freedom to explore different services, knowing they're not tied down by hefty initial investments. Recurring payments create a powerful incentive for companies to keep their products fresh and reliable. Unlike traditional one-time purchases, subscriptions mean customers can reevaluate their choices every month. So businesses must consistently deliver value to avoid cancellations. This model encourages regular updates, prompt bug fixes, and new features, ensuring that users benefit from ongoing improvements. As a result, companies are motivated to listen to feedback and respond quickly, making the subscription model a driver for innovation and customer satisfaction. The pressure to retain subscribers transforms customer support and product development into essential parts of the business, fostering a cycle of continuous enhancement. Subscription-based businesses have consistently outperformed traditional models, particularly during periods of economic uncertainty. For example, between 2012 and 2022, subscription companies grew 435%, nearly 5 times faster than the S&P 500. This remarkable growth is largely attributed to the predictability of recurring revenue, which allows companies to weather financial shocks more effectively. During the first quarter of 2020, while the S&P 500 contracted by nearly 2%, subscription revenues actually increased by 9.5%. This resilience highlights how the subscription model provides stability and adaptability, making it an attractive option for both businesses and investors. Recurring revenue streams offer companies a level of predictability that traditional one-time sales simply can't match. When a business knows how much income to expect each month from subscriptions, it can plan investments, manage resources, and weather economic shifts with greater confidence. This stability is highly attractive to investors who value the reduced uncertainty and steady cash flow. As a result, companies with strong recurring revenue models often receive higher valuations and can focus more on long-term growth rather than short-term sales targets. Ultimately, predictable income not only supports business resilience, but also builds trust with stakeholders and the market. Some companies have discovered that being open about their pricing and revenue can actually set them apart in the subscription economy. For example, Buffer, a social media management platform, publishes its exact revenue numbers, employee salaries, and even pricing formulas for everyone to see. Basecamp, another standout, has consistently rejected venture capital offers to maintain a simple, flat monthly fee with no hidden tiers or surprise charges. Research shows that this kind of transparency can boost perceived trustworthiness by up to 50%, and customers are more likely to stick around when they know exactly what they're paying for. In a world where hidden fees and complex pricing are common, these companies prove that honesty can be a powerful tool for building loyalty and long-term success. Trust is a cornerstone of any successful subscription business, and it's closely tied to clear pricing and straightforward cancellation policies. When customers know exactly what they're paying for and can easily leave if they choose, their sense of control and satisfaction increases. Studies show that companies with transparent pricing and simple cancellation processes enjoy significantly higher retention rates, as customers are more likely to stay when they feel respected and empowered. This approach not only reduces churn but also builds lasting loyalty, turning satisfied subscribers into long-term advocates. Ultimately, transparency and flexibility aren't just good ethics. They're smart business strategies in today's subscription economy. Subscription models have fundamentally changed the way companies approach their customers. Instead of focusing all their energy on making a single sale, businesses now prioritize keeping subscribers satisfied month after month. This shift means that sales and marketing strategies are designed not just to attract new users, but to ensure they stay engaged and see ongoing value. Customer support also becomes a central player, as helping users solve problems and maximize benefits directly impacts whether they renew or cancel. In this new landscape, long-term relationships and continuous value delivery are more important than ever for sustainable growth. Continuous value delivery is at the heart of successful subscription businesses. Unlike traditional one-time purchases, subscriptions require companies to consistently provide updates, improvements, and responsive customer support to keep users engaged and satisfied. This ongoing commitment not only helps retain customers, but also builds trust, as people feel they're getting real value for their recurring payments. When updates and support are lacking, subscribers are quick to reconsider their commitment, leading to higher cancellation rates. In a competitive market, businesses that prioritize continuous value stand out and foster long-term loyalty. Even modest price increases can have a surprisingly big impact on subscription cancellations. Studies show that as little as a $5 hike is enough to prompt 60% of subscribers to consider canceling their service. This sensitivity highlights just how closely consumers monitor the value they receive compared to what they pay. When the perceived benefit no longer matches the cost, people are quick to cut ties, often en masse. This behavior underscores the importance for companies to maintain transparent pricing and consistent value, as trust and satisfaction are key to keeping subscribers on board. Not all subscriptions are created equal. Some genuinely empower consumers by providing ongoing value like continuous updates, improved features, or access to services that would otherwise be out of reach. These models are transparent, easy to manage, and make it simple for users to leave if they're not satisfied. On the other hand, some subscriptions are designed to extract value, relying on hidden fees, complicated cancellation processes, or charging for features that don't require ongoing costs. The key difference lies in whether the subscription consistently delivers clear benefits or simply locks people into paying more over time without meaningful returns. Adobe's shift from selling perpetual software licenses to offering subscription-based access marked a turning point in its business model. Previously, customers paid a large upfront fee for products like Photoshop, leading to revenue spikes at launch but sharp declines during economic downturns. By introducing Creative Cloud subscriptions, Adobe traded immediate payments for steady, recurring income. This change not only tripled the company's growth rate, but also made its revenue more resilient, even during challenging economic periods. The subscription model encouraged continuous updates and improvements, aligning Adobe's incentives with customer satisfaction and retention. Retention rates play a crucial role in the success of subscription businesses. When companies keep a high percentage of their customers month after month, their revenue becomes more predictable and stable. This ongoing relationship means that businesses can grow not just by acquiring new customers, but by deepening engagement and expanding services with their existing base. High retention also signals to investors that a company delivers consistent value, often leading to higher valuations. In the subscription economy, it's clear that keeping customers satisfied and loyal is just as important as bringing new ones in. Customer-friendly practices like transparent and simple pricing have become powerful ways for companies to stand out in the crowded subscription economy. When customers clearly understand what they're paying for, trust builds naturally, making them more likely to stick around. Research shows that 83% of B2B customers value pricing transparency even more than brand reputation, and companies with clear pricing see much higher retention rates. Simple, straightforward terms remove the anxiety of hidden fees or complicated cancellation processes, turning customer satisfaction into a true competitive advantage. In the long run, businesses that prioritize openness and ease of use often see stronger loyalty and more sustainable growth. In response to growing concerns about unwanted subscriptions and complicated cancellation processes, regulators are stepping in with new rules designed to protect consumers. For example, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission has introduced the click-to-cancel rule, which requires that canceling a subscription be as simple as signing up. Similarly, the UK has identified millions of unwanted subscriptions costing consumers billions each year, prompting stricter oversight. These measures target businesses that rely on hidden fees, complex terms, or friction-filled cancellation procedures. The goal is to ensure transparency and empower consumers to manage their recurring expenses more easily. Companies that depend on hidden fees and complicated cancellation processes to sustain their revenue are facing growing structural vulnerabilities. As consumers become more aware of their spending and regulators push for greater transparency, these extraction models are increasingly at risk. High churn rates, reputational damage, and regulatory scrutiny are common consequences for businesses that prioritize short-term gains over genuine value delivery. The reliance on friction and opacity may provide temporary revenue, but it undermines long-term sustainability. In a maturing subscription economy, trust and transparency are proving to be far more effective strategies for retaining customers and ensuring lasting growth. As the subscription economy matures, everyone involved is learning to navigate its complexities. Consumers are becoming more aware of their spending, regularly reassessing which services genuinely deliver value and which simply drain their wallets. Companies are shifting focus from aggressive customer acquisition to building trust and retention, recognizing that transparency and continuous improvement are key to long-term success. Regulators are stepping in to ensure fair practices, like making cancellation as easy as signing up and drawing clear lines between genuine value and exploitative tactics. This evolving landscape encourages smarter choices and healthier relationships between users and providers, making subscriptions work better for everyone. When it comes to evaluating subscriptions, both consumers and businesses can benefit from a clear framework. Start by comparing the ongoing cost of the subscription to the value you actually receive. Does it solve a real problem or simply add convenience? Check for transparent pricing and straightforward cancellation policies, as these are signs of a customer-focused service. Regularly review your active subscriptions to ensure you're still using and benefiting from them. For businesses, prioritize models that deliver continuous improvements and maintain trust, since long-term retention is built on genuine value, not on making it hard to leave. Sustainable subscription models stand out by focusing on three essential qualities: transparency, customer success, and continuous value delivery. Transparent pricing and terms help build trust, making it easy for customers to understand exactly what they're paying for. Prioritizing customer success turns support into a revenue driver, as businesses that genuinely help customers get the most out of their subscriptions see higher retention rates. Continuous value delivery is also crucial. Regular updates, improvements, and responsive service ensure that subscribers keep seeing the benefit of staying on board. These characteristics not only set successful subscription businesses apart, but also create lasting, mutually beneficial relationships with their customers. In the world of subscription-based business software, financial automation has become essential for companies seeking efficiency and accuracy. But as these systems grow more complex, transparency is increasingly important. Certifications like ISO 42001 for AI management signal that a company prioritizes explainable and trustworthy automation. This means that the decisions made by AI tools can be understood and audited, reducing risks in critical financial processes. For businesses, choosing software with clear certifications and explainable AI isn't just about compliance. It's about building confidence in the tools that manage their most sensitive data. When businesses consider subscription-based software, they're not just looking at the monthly price tag. Instead, they weigh the predictability of ongoing costs against the risks that come with outdated or unreliable tools. Subscriptions often include regular updates, security patches, and support, reducing the chance of costly disruptions or compliance issues. For many companies, the peace of mind that comes from always having up-to-date, reliable software outweighs the appeal of a one-time purchase. In fast-moving industries, this trade-off can make all the difference in staying competitive and avoiding unexpected setbacks. The shift from ownership to access is one of the defining features of the subscription economy. Instead of buying a product outright, consumers now pay for ongoing access to services that are regularly updated and improved. This trade-off means you don't own the asset, but you benefit from continuous enhancements, security updates, and new features. For digital services like streaming or software, this model makes sense, as the value comes from ongoing maintenance and development. However, it's important to recognize when subscriptions offer genuine benefits, and when they simply turn a one-time purchase into a recurring expense without adding real value. Subscriptions can truly make sense when the service you're paying for requires constant updates, maintenance, or access to a growing library of content. Take streaming platforms, for example. Their catalogs are always evolving, with new shows and movies added regularly, and licensing fees need to be paid to keep content available. Similarly, cloud-based productivity tools like Adobe Creative Cloud or Microsoft 365 deliver frequent software updates, security patches, and new features, ensuring users always have the latest capabilities. In these cases, the ongoing costs reflect real work behind the scenes, supporting continuous improvement and reliable service. That's when a subscription isn't just a recurring charge, it's a ticket to ongoing value. Not all subscriptions are created equal, and some simply don't make sense for consumers. Take, for example, hardware subscriptions where companies charge monthly fees to unlock features that are already physically installed in your device, like heated seats in a car. In these cases, there are no ongoing costs for the company, just a recurring charge for something you technically already own. This approach shifts from delivering value to extracting it, turning what should be a one-time purchase into a perpetual payment. Increasingly, regulators and consumers are pushing back against these practices, recognizing the difference between genuine service and unnecessary fees. Regulators around the world are stepping in to address the growing concerns over exploitative subscription practices. In the United States, the Federal Trade Commission has introduced the click-to-cancel rule, making it just as easy to end a subscription as it is to start one. The UK identified millions of unwanted subscriptions, prompting new policies to protect consumers from hidden fees and complex cancellation processes. These interventions aim to distinguish between companies that deliver ongoing value and those that rely on confusing terms or forgotten charges. By enforcing transparency and fairness, authorities are helping to ensure that the subscription economy remains beneficial for both businesses and consumers. Looking ahead, the subscription economy is poised for remarkable growth, with forecasts suggesting it could surpass $1.5 trillion globally by 2033. This expansion is fueled by the model's ability to lower barriers to access, allowing both individuals and businesses to benefit from services without hefty upfront costs. Sustainable growth will depend on companies prioritizing transparency, flexible payment options, and continuous value delivery, ensuring that customers feel they're getting their money's worth. As consumers become more discerning and regulations tighten, businesses that focus on building trust and adapting to evolving needs are likely to thrive. Ultimately, the future of subscriptions will be shaped by how well companies balance convenience with genuine value for their users. In today's subscription-driven world, it's easy to lose track of all the services you're paying for each month. To stay in control, it's important to regularly review your bank statements and digital receipts, making a list of every active subscription. Take a moment to ask yourself which ones you actually use and which ones have faded into the background. If a subscription no longer brings you value or you've simply forgotten about it, don't hesitate to cancel. This simple audit can help you avoid unnecessary spending and ensure your money is going towards services that genuinely improve your life. To keep customers coming back, companies are focusing on building trust and delivering ongoing value rather than relying on one-time sales. Transparent pricing and clear communication help customers understand exactly what they're paying for, which increases confidence and loyalty. Businesses are also investing in customer support and regular product updates, ensuring that users see real benefits over time. By making it easy to cancel and avoiding hidden fees, companies show they value long-term relationships over short-term gains. This approach not only reduces cancellations, but also turns satisfied customers into advocates for the brand. The real subscription trap emerges when companies shift their focus from retaining satisfied customers to simply extracting as much value as possible. Instead of continuously delivering improvements and transparent pricing, some businesses start relying on tactics like hidden fees, complex cancellation processes, or automatic renewals that are easy to forget. This approach can leave consumers paying for services they no longer use or even remember subscribing to. As a result, trust erodes, and customers become more likely to cancel subscriptions or avoid them altogether. Ultimately, when companies prioritize short-term gains over long-term relationships, both their reputation and customer loyalty suffer. One of the most surprising lessons from the subscription economy is that companies who make it easy for customers to cancel often end up keeping them longer. When people know they can leave without hassle, they feel more in control and are less likely to resent the service. This openness builds trust, turning what could be a short-term transaction into a lasting relationship. Instead of relying on complicated cancellation processes or hidden fees, successful companies focus on delivering continuous value, knowing that satisfied customers are more likely to stay by choice rather than by force. The subscription economy isn't inherently good or bad. It's a tool, and its impact depends on how it's used. When companies prioritize transparency, continuous value, and customer-friendly practices, subscriptions can democratize access and offer real benefits. But when businesses rely on hidden fees, complicated cancellations, or extractive tactics, the model quickly turns into a trap. The key for both consumers and companies is to recognize these differences and make choices that favor genuine value over short-term gains. Ultimately, the future of subscriptions will be shaped by how well we balance convenience with fairness and trust.